All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, November 4th, post-election day. Great to see everybody's alive, myself included. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin, make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. We're all making money at least. I mean, I know most of us are, at least inside our trading room. Mark, John, Michael, great to see you all. Stefan, Anthony, Abdallah, Jim, the whole crew. Great to see you all loud and clear from all. Perfect. Alrighty, and for all of us on social media, welcome on back. So without further ado, as I was kind of joking, we ended up seeing a nice push up in the market today. Election still very contested, undecided, of course. So we'll see what happens even later on going into the final hour, but and of course after that as well, heading into this evening. So for right now, APVO, familiar name, right? We ended up seeing the stock back yesterday make a fantastic run. So after a little while this morning, not as if we were like kind of waiting on it, all out of nowhere, really, just suddenly a big pop, broke high the day off what appears to be 1040-ish, 1050. From there, ran much higher. So breaking higher heading into the afternoon right now. Easy enough for us to do, just to put on our list. Not necessarily an easy trade, and we know that from yesterday. So APVO, and I'll tell you, I don't know if it's like afternoons in this trade, but actually, the stock ended up making a huge pop right at 2:30 yesterday when I started the meeting. And here we are today, shortly prior to 2 p.m. We get the same pop. So at least for right now, we'll actually check the daily chart. Oops. There we go. Known pump and dump in the past on several occasions here. Looks like from 2019, probably some resistance, maybe around like 14-ish, if I'm not mistaken, back from like early August, 14, 18, the high, then it spiked up towards a high of 14, 14. So, if it keeps going, don't be surprised if 14 or shortly above that price is the top to watch. So for right now, APVO will certainly just put on our list here to begin. All right, cool. Well, like I had said, folks, the market moved up very nicely here today. And I mean, it's almost as if Neo is like unstoppable. I mean, I thought it was up until it topped off pretty much right underneath 40. It ended up pulling back shortly after the market opened up. Nice steady trend on the way down, actually. But as the market started to turn, so did Neo. You ended up seeing Neo make a nice bounce from 3650-ish, squeeze all the way up to break a new high, pushed up towards, like I'd said, just underneath 40. But then really, I mean, just out of nowhere, I mean, didn't even come close to testing 40. I think the high, right, as you could see, 39.75. But really, out of nowhere, just turned right back down and a full reversal since. So for right now, a lot of these different EV stocks are making the same move. In fact, actually, one that ended up just dumping off as soon as the market opened up, Workhorse. This one's still at the lows right now. I don't know what's going on between this and then the other one, Lordstown Motors from yesterday, Ride. Ride was more in like a pennant pattern earlier in the morning, then broke off from that and still at the lows here, as you could see. So both of these seem to be fairly interesting heading into the afternoon, hopeful for a potential bounce. Workhorse, the next major support on this trade, we would assume to be off of 16, which was a big level, actually, not even from yesterday, but even from the day before that. So Workhorse, keep a good eye out for. And then also the others, Xpev, another one that ended up running up beautifully with Neo after the market opened up, breaking new all-time highs, or at least earlier it did. Kind of pulled back, still kind of holding in this range. And then the other one, guys, LI. LI I'm currently in right now. I have an order on the ask right now at 24.90. I'm still watching this on my other monitor right now. So if this ends up actually pulling back, I'll take some profits. My first trade of the day, at least on this one. Man, from yesterday, we ended up doing so well on the stock. Ended up continuing to make the push heading into the afternoon. Actually, it was a bit of a tough trade going into the final few minutes where it ended up peaking over 24, but failing to shoot much higher from there. Ended up topping off exactly where I got in from. That was pretty much right at 24.17. So for all of us inside the trading room, I made a comment just earlier before the meeting started. Let's see, I wrote this right at 2:10 Eastern time. I wrote, LI, I would love a bounce from 24.17, if not $24 itself. I say 24 given the amount of volume that we had filled here. And we saw that heading into this afternoon meeting yesterday. And then even more got filled heading into the afternoon from 24. But with that in mind, ended up like topping off at 24.20, 24.17, I think in particular. I mean, a major top. I had no idea why. It wasn't as if we had a big iceberg order acting as a resistance. But man, that held like super glue heading into the close. Very disappointing, right? So with what we had heading into the market open today, LI moved up, broke new all-time highs, but with Neo and Workhorse, all the others that dropped off pretty sharply, this went with it. But for right now, I ended up jumping in right from this line, 24.17. I'm going to see where this takes me heading into the next couple minutes. Like I said, I have an order on the ask at 24.90. I'm in on a half-size position, so for me, 500 shares here. If it ends up breaking a little bit lower, I'll just pull the eject button, the close button, and just dump out. Starting to make that short little squeeze up right now, as you could see. I definitely want to get out underneath 25 on this trade. That's why I'm even underselling myself on the exit, just to get out at 24.90. Should it even push up there, but I think it will. All right, so for right now, folks, I mean, it's just lazy for me to do, but all of the EV stocks seem to still be in play heading into the afternoon. That also could include some of the others that are affiliated with the EV market, like Blink, BLNK. After a morning drop-off, ended up making a slow, steady recovery. It's right at that level we were actually watching from yesterday at 9. And then the other one, Plug. This one was a lot more active from the last couple of days. Made the morning watch list yesterday, made a nice pop. And then today ended up dumping off. Broke down below 16 support. I got my short this time. Ended up dropping down towards a low of 15.25. From there, pushed up. But, you know, all of these still seem to be in relative play. You know, a lot of these are shortable. So if they crap out with the market, they could be, you know, good shorts. I'm getting closer to that 24.90 on LI. I have it up on my other monitor right now. All right, so with that in mind, what we'll do is go from top to bottom. We'll see if there's anything else that's worth watching, anything else that's moving heading into the end of the day. Man, BIIB. I don't know what the news is on this. I just see the price alone. $345 stock. Oh, Biogen. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. So my guess here is just earnings, but let me see. Let me take a look from earlier this morning. No, I think I'm wrong on that. FDA briefing, Alzheimer drug. That's what I'm reading up on here from Benzinga Pro. Copy and paste that for all of us tuning in on the streams here. And of course, for us in the trading room. Give me a quick sec. There we go. So we're not going to day trade, you know, a $345 stock, of course. I just wanted to clip the news out there for you folks. All right, so we move on. ATHA, slow grind up. Not to say slow as much, more really like low volume. Actually, now it's pretty slow in a tighter range here. But yeah, for the meantime, we'll pass. Now, this stock we had on our watch list heading into the market open today ended up popping, I think, right here at 8 o'clock. Yeah, right here at 8 o'clock Eastern time today. Sava ended up making a nice pop. So ended up shortly after the market opening up, dumped off, but pushed up higher, as you could see. Still kind of holding near the highs, although kind of making lower highs on the 5-minute chart. For right now, we'll kind of keep this in mind. Also, for the fact, like I always say, you know, if it goes the other way, it is hard. It is easy to borrow today, at least Sava. So this could be a good short on the way down. And that leads me back to the APVO. All right, so the APVO, of course, on our watch list already, but since I stopped talking about it, since I moved on to other trades, it ended up breaking higher, right? As you could see, broke above 1350, moved up towards 14, shortly above. It actually peaked at 1430. See what happens to it in the next couple of minutes, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if a big shake comes up here. KNDI. I forgot about KNDI from today. Ended up making a big pop. I mean, really just right at 10 o'clock. News came out at the time. I'll go to Benzinga Pro and at least grab it for us here. I forgot what the news was on this trade. I thought one of our students, Pat, ended up posting it earlier, but I'm just going to copy and paste right now for us. So Candy America, looks like they received certification from the EPA. It says electric vehicles. There we go. Cleared for U.S. roads. How about that? So just goes to show this whole EV market is just on fire. Anytime you hear the word or the phrase electric vehicle, EV in the headline, big move. All right. Ooh, there we go. So really quick, guys, just a little segue right now. Back to my LI. There we go. I got filled right at 24.90. Then from 24.17. We'll check back with this one also just at the end, folks. But yeah, KNDI, at least as far as the news, it was EV related. Ended up making the pop shortly after 10 o'clock. Now, the line that you see here, really quickly, since I have the time to go over it, when this ended up reopening up from its halt, got halted off volatility. When it reopened up, the market on open print, the opening halt print, so to say, 780. So more or less, this ended up popping up towards a high of like 850, pulled all the way back down, broke under and over, and held over that level, just hovered over it after here. So heading into the afternoon, KNDI still seems to be in play. I don't mind just putting this on our list in particular. I'm listing like all of the EVs just grouped together, but KNDI, just from the news pop earlier, I'll just kind of specify this one. Looks like the S&P ETF, the SPY I see slipping off here. The Dow on my screen beginning to slump off too. All right, we'll check back in with our side list stocks just by the end of it. Blue Apron, APRN. I also saw some news with Blue Apron in relation actually to that KNDI headline. It says several shares of consumer. Oh, no, that has to do with the election at least. Let me take a quick look on Blue Apron here. Looks like I guess like a firm is buying 192,000 shares. That's the news that came out at 11:45 Eastern time. I'm not going to copy and paste there for you guys here. I mean, nonetheless, it's popping up pretty nicely right now. It still seems to be near the highs. Now, the reason I'm more interested in this trading is to see a potential short squeeze. I mean, look what happened going back into late March, early April from that point, right? I think that was a combination between a reverse stock split and then earnings. I mean, maybe a couple of days even after. It was a weird combo like that. So I ended up making like a crazy pop from 3 all the way up towards just about 30. Ended up pulling back down, right? So, just seeing a stock like this near the highs heading into the close, just like this is here, piques my interest. So this one we'll put on our list here too. All right, give me a quick sec, folks. There we go. All right, so let's just jump over to losers list actually right now. This is up 18%. I'm sure I can go through some more here to begin, but we'll check back in with these just, at the end. We'll see if there's anything looking just as good on the loser side, and then from there, we'll see what else is out there. This KRMD. Ooh, happened here. Good spread. I like that. Good liquidity on the book, too, I actually have to say. It is shortable. It looks like it just broke down below support. We had some selling coming in here. Not really too big of a spike, but 2:36 Eastern time. Right at 435, it seems like a bunch of prints. 6,100, 4,000. These add up. So 435, I would assume to be the level as of right now. Got to make sure you have selling under that price if you're looking for continuation on the short here. But for right now, it's down far enough and it's shortable. So yeah, this trade KRMD. We'll put on here too. All right. PVAC trading, like less volume here pretty much. It's dropping off pretty nicely though. The stock ended up getting crushed just during the pandemic, ended up squeezing up a little bit, but it has since kind of slumped back down and pulling back down actually over the last couple of weeks on the daily chart. Today, of course, at the lows, Penn VA Corp, not to be confused with Penn National Gaming, ended up making the drop here at the lows. Big support filled off of 7. You can see that there on the tape. A little jumpy on this given the spread, but for right now, I guess this will make the cut. If there's anything on the gainer side that looks better than this, given, I mean, we were in an up market, we still are up 542 points, but as you can see here, at least since 2:30 or 12:30, and even right now, the Dow pulling back a bit. So you might have some good short opportunities heading into the afternoon. CXW, not really doing it there. Yeah, the familiar names. UVXY, there's Fausto's Jinko Solar. A little expensive, big spread, not really a day trade stock. Smith & Wesson seems to be very active right now. Ended up dropping off, getting crushed today, actually, shortly after the open. Wow, from 1750 all the way down to just over 15. Still seems to be in play. It's slowed down since, obviously, but the spreads are tight, very liquid order book, just a tradable stock in that regard. I mean, we'll see where it could take us heading into the afternoon. This one I like even more than the PVAC. And also, folks, don't forget, when I say EVs, we're talking about like 4 or 5 stocks alone, just that are electric vehicle stocks. NIO, Workhorse, Plug, Blink, Xpev, LI, all of those. Ruger, I think, right? Fausto was talking about that earlier, dropping off with Smith & Wesson. All right, I think that just about does it, folks. I'll run down the gainer side again. I did like kind of a quick walkthrough on the gainer side. So we'll see if there's anything else that looks all right. I know that TTOO tattoo, or T2 as we call it, it's pushing up nicely here. Wow. This one slipped up here at the end. The reason I jumped over to them is actually because they have earnings coming up after the bell today, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a pretty interesting run that we have here right now on this TTOO stock. So for the meantime, I'd be a little wary about the continuation right away from 150. But if this could, pull back under 150, re-break over the level, then I'd take the trade. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Slip this right on the list. Dan says in the chat board here he's going to short KRMD at 430. Yeah, it's moving right back up to 435. Perhaps if it breaks below 430, Dan, you're looking for a short. Yeah, just look for time and sales. Got to make sure you continue to see more red on the tape there, more selling. Norman here in the chat board. Nice drop off on this PEIX. Definitely a good call. Yeah, I like this one. We're going to build up a big list for right now. I might actually scratch off that PVAC at the end of it. This PEIX, I mean, a little bit slower, don't get me wrong, but we don't mind slow as much here. So, for as much as this stock has dropped over the last 2 weeks, it was a great short. I was looking for a squeeze up here, and we got it back, a few days ago. It's dropped off since. It is shortable. And then otherwise, yeah, 550 support, next major support below that. I would assume to be next, mega support off of 5. You could see a 19,000 share order on the bid right here at 536. LI ended up squeezing up a little bit more from where I got out, ended up pushing up to a high, or at least the peak here of around 25.16. So could have had a little bit more on that trade even. It's fine. RJF in our chat board right now says, or on the YouTube stream says, I need to look into blood pressure medications after today's trading. Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a pretty hot morning, RJF. I mean, really, upon the market opening up, a couple of shakes here and there within the Dow, but then once it ended up breaking higher, it was smooth sailing. So a lot of these stocks ended up moving up pretty nicely. The EVs, though, like NIO, big drop off heading into the afternoon like a roller coaster. Oh, look at Workhorse. It's even starting to squeeze back up itself. I thought this would just keep on dropping. All right, well, for right now, a small little squeeze up on Workhorse. Lita's asking here in our trading room, DNK worth watching? Nice pop. What's up with the stock? The last 2 days, trading a lot more volume compared to what it normally has been doing. I don't think that we've called this one out, though. I certainly haven't. So just looks like a lot more volume traded. This is just like a crap chart the last 2 days. Pretty interesting that it's making its move now, Lita. So don't know. Don't really care. DNK, we're going to put right on our list. Definitely a great call, Lita. I like it. And considering how much this stock has dropped the last, month or so, right? Month and a half. All right, so I think that just about does it, folks. We have a big list. I'm not even going to count given the amount of EV stocks plus all the others. It's just a very big list, all in all. So for all of us on social media, I'm going to say the same to you as I normally say to all of us inside the trading room exclusively. Start and stick with this list. Make sure that you guys just start with a couple, line up your levels from there. If there's any stock that ends up breaking through that big price point that you're following or testing that big iceberg order that you lined up, react to it from that point. Don't just try and jump around between 12 or 13 different of these stocks. Just start off with a couple of them from this list and then see where it takes you. Otherwise, after that point, if you're watching the grass grow on the 2 or 3 that you chose, then look around, see what else other people are doing. And for all of us inside the trading room, we'll be talking inside here. For all of us on social media, if you guys would like to join us Monday to Friday, always feel more than free. And then otherwise, just feel more than free also just to like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel. That'll be the best way to know when we're going live, when we're not. That's right there at youtube.com/cybertradingu. All right, folks, for all of us inside the trading room, going to copy and paste the picks. Give me a quick sec. I got a meeting to jump into very shortly. I'll be back on the mic, though, myself right at 3:30 heading into the afternoon. Take care.